I got a new setup, so I got these speakers and stuff like that. So should be
Nice.
decently to
Do I
hear.
sound clear or everything's good with mine?
I mean, you sound like you're on the phone, so
So, okay.
it's not the worst. We can hear it still, but the problem in the
Yeah, I
past
mean, as
was
far as volume wise,
yeah. I got these speakers in here, so the volume won't be as like low. But all right, here we go. You ready, bro? Ready to bring it back?
let's do it, bro.
All right, take a deep breath. Let it all out. And welcome to the Sports Savage. I'm Garrett Savage from Los Angeles, California. And of course, I'm joined by smooth talking Sammy from Orlando, Florida. Sammy, it's been a while. What have you been up to?
Too long, man. Just observing the sports world, gaining more intellect, more wisdom, just so I can give it back to the people.
Back to the people. So, we had a bit of a winter break. We missed a lot of stuff. Sammy, what was your favorite? We've missed the national championship. We missed playoffs. We've missed Baltimore losing when they were probably supposed to win it all. Sammy, what stood out to you as far as what has happened since we're here right now?
Well, I'm a pretty cool guy, so not much has shocked me. I'll have to say my favorite thing has been the rise of Joe Burrow. If you asked me last year to give you a rundown on Joe Burrow as far as his draft stock and the type of quarterback he was, I really wouldn't have much to tell you. He's the first overall pick. So to see that happen for the state of Louisiana and for a kid who seems to kind of know what to do and what to say in the big moments, that was pretty cool.
Joe Burrow literally had an NCAA football season. I mean, this was a dude, like, it only would have been better if LSU would have played Ohio State in the national title, which is what I wanted. And for them to, like, that would have put it way too over the top. Because it's already a Hollywood script, what LSU did this season. But for them to play Ohio State, the team that was like, you're not good enough for us, and for him to put up the amazing numbers he's put up on everybody, to me, would have been the cherry on top. But, how could you not root for LSU? I mean, Joe Burrow, smoking the cigar after the game. People were giving him shit about that. I thought it was gangster. What'd you think?
Oh no, completely gangster. He's pretty much made every right decision since transferring to LSU. So I mean, you can't really blame a guy when things go right for him. And with that being said, everything went right for LSU and Ed Orgeron, who really, above all, really deserves this win. I mean, he had a lot of critics, a lot of naysayers when he took the job, and to deliver that national championship, I know feels good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, LSU is the team of destiny. Everybody rooted for him. My favorite thing since we've gotten back here, I haven't talked about it, but Florida State hiring Mike Norvell. This dude is crushing it. This dude is putting together a staff. This dude is recruiting. Florida State's coming back, Sammy. I'm telling you right now.
I mean, that sounds good. See what he does, when, they hit the grass and, they put the pads on and we see what actually he was able to get in his first year. But, I mean, if you're a Florida State fan, you got to be looking to the positive. It can't get any worse than what it was under Taggart.
And it's hard because I really liked Willie. I really bought into the hype. And you know what? I don't know. Maybe it was just a big, maybe it was just everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, and that's why Willie's not at Florida State anymore. But dude, if you watch Florida State football games, I've been a Florida State fan ever since I was, I don't know, 13, something like that. I have never seen a Florida State team that unorganized, that many penalties, where they just didn't know what the hell was going on ever. And I don't know if that was Willie. I mean, there's been player interviews where they said it was all about having fun. And then, when Norvell comes in, it's all about business. So, I mean, you can't deny what he did at USF. You can't deny it. You can't deny it. Oregon, he didn't really have much of a run, but he had potential to put them in a position to be competing. But Clemson right now just owns the ACC, and the ACC is a joke. So for the fact that we are that bad in the ACC, I mean, it's telling.
Yeah, well, with that being said, you guys are only a season away from bouncing back. It only takes a year or a couple years, as Clemson has showed you. They pretty much put together a powerhouse in like five seasons. So with the cachet of Florida State, you guys, if he's the guy, if he's able to bring in top-notch talent, which is what Florida State's supposed to be all about, then you guys should be back in no time.
No, I mean, I've loved everything this guy has done so far. He's hired an amazing staff, and I say that only because, you know, hindsight's 2020, and the offseason is the most exciting part of the NFL college football season because everybody has a chance to win. So, of course, my dick is rock hard for this guy, but I don't know, man. My dick was rock hard for Willie T, too. So it's just like, I'm ready to bust my nut. That's what I'm saying, Sam. I'm ready to blow. I'm ready to go.
I mean, you should know by now these college coaches are nothing but fucking teasers anyway. I mean, they get to one point and then they're out the next day, the next season. So I wouldn't, get my panties in a bunch if I were you. But with that being said, this should be a step in the right direction.
All right, so I'm gonna clear the air, and I'm not gonna try to take up too much time. And Sammy, feel free to interject anytime that you want. While Sports Savage was going on, I had another side project that I was enthused to be in. So there was this comedian, his name was Tim Dillon. He wasn't super popular at the time. I mean, he had been on Joe Rogan, he'd been on other things, but he wasn't, 100K plus Instagram star he is today. So, I'd really liked the podcast, and I started sending him stuff, and he liked it. And it's almost, the only way I can describe it is like, if you have a band that only you know about, and then they ask you to join the band, that's what it felt like, Sammy. It felt like I was a part of this. I was a part of the machine, dude. And we had worked together over 7 months. I mean, I had created content that had millions of views, millions of likes. In my mind, I was like, I'm going to be the next member of this group because we were talking all the time. We were doing all this stuff all the time. The caveat is I was doing all this for free. So a lot of what I had to do was there was audio, and I had to create, visuals for their audio clips, and some of my stuff got played on Logan Paul, who's a very famous podcaster guy who was on there, and other things got mentioned, and celebrities, I got intoxicated by it, Sammy. Celebrities were liking videos I made, people were commenting on it, and I was like, wow. But I had never been more stressed out in my entire life. Like, the pressure was on, like I had to do all this stuff and do it in a certain amount of time, and I put in hours, man, 25, 30 hours a week just making these videos, making sure they're right, making sure it all worked. And just bang, bang, boom. Tim Dillon, he was on TV, he was on Comedy Central, he was the guy who invited me out on Thanksgiving if I wanted to go out with him. This is a celebrity, and I was caught up in it, man, but like, it was such a yin and yang because I felt so good at the same time, but yet the pressure on me to make these videos, do this stuff, it was a lot. So end of the year comes out, I get a shout out, on his Instagram. I'm getting followers on my Instagram, like people who wouldn't have followed me other than the fact that I'm associated with Tim Dillon. That's it. They would have known me the regular, they wouldn't have followed me. So I was talking with my girlfriend, and I was like, I think I need to put my foot down and say, I want some money. I want some cashola for what I'm doing because I'm putting in good work. And, obviously I'm doing Photoshops. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. And he has a Patreon account, which if you don't know what a Patreon is, it's people pay per month to hear exclusive content. Maybe we'll have one, but we do have 18 YouTube subscribers, so we are very far off from that, but you never know. So I said, I want like 5% of the Patreon, which was literally under $130 a week. Now, $130 a week is not a lot, Sammy. It's not a lot of money. It's like, it's less than minimum wage. It's less than anything else. But I wanted to get paid for my time. How much is your time worth? So I was like, I'm in the bag. I'm indispensable. No problem. Like it's not going to be a big deal at all. Oh, how wrong was I, Sammy? So I sent the email. I got an email back. Yada, yada, yada. We're going in this direction. You know, if you want to go see my show for free sometime, let me know. So it's basically I was broken up with and then invited to the wedding, and I was like, no. And at the time I was like, well, you know what? Maybe that's Hollywood. Maybe this is how it goes. You know, it's you got to earn your bones, earn your keep, stuff like that. But at the same time, Sammy, I put in all this work, and it was just a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. And what bothers me the most is I really, really, really like his podcast. He's a funny guy. He is extremely funny, very brilliant, very controversial. Very, very, very controversial. So I don't know how my family really liked it at the time because he was making all like Epstein jokes, very extreme stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, I mean, I felt free, but at the same time, it's just like, damn. So, moral of the story, folks, don't meet your heroes. If you see me and Sammy on the street, don't say hi. Don't ask for a picture. Just look at us and walk along. But, yeah, I mean, that's what I've been dealing with, Sammy. And it's been about a month.
Wow, man. It sounds like you got sucked into the show business machine and it spit you out, man.
It is, and it was crazy, man. Like, I really thought, like, I was, like, a part of Hollywood. I really did. I really thought, I mean, I had no inclination that this was, like, I was walking the plank, basically, you know? Like, I was fed, you know, like, I was talking, and I talked to the producer, I don't know, at least every other day. Haven't heard a word from him since. He liked one of my Instagram posts. Thanks.
I mean, hey, you know, what do you think was going to happen once you started asking for compensation for things? You weren't just doing it for the love of what is his name, Kevin Dillon?
Tevin Dillon is the now. It was a labor of love. It really was. I mean, you know, if you were to ask, you know, and now because I never would have thought I would have been in that situation. You know, it's like this was a band I liked. They asked me to join the band. That's the only way I can like convey it to people. Like, I was there. I was a part of it. I saw him. I was involved with things. You know, it's like, and I saw him like rise up. You know, and it was just like I was there for it. But now it's just like
it was cool. It was a cool situation.
And you know what? It's hard for me to say like, well, you know what? Fuck you. You know, you treated me like shit. You know, I mean, I don't listen to the show anymore. You know, I don't follow them on Instagram. I removed my name from his Instagram. Like, I think that was like the final straw. But you know, like folks, like you can't get.
You know, I'm not associated with you anymore.
Nah, I'm sure he didn't care. He was like, whatever, you know, just some loser. But you know, it's interesting. You know, it's interesting to take a swing. It's interesting to go for it. It's interesting to see what happens. Because what if I didn't? You know, what if I'm still just listening it to this day and I was like, oh, I could have done that. I could have done this. Could have done that. So sometimes you got to take a swing, Sammy. Sometimes you got to throw the Hail Mary. Sometimes you got to go for it. It might blow up in your face. But you know what? You got to go for it.
Don't expect compensation for things.
Say what?
Don't expect compensation for things.
No, yeah, that's a good one too. Don't expect compensation. But so I'm done with that. We're bringing the show back. We don't know what's going on with the show. I'm trying to get it on iTunes. I'm trying to get it on everything else. It's a big rigmarole, but we're gonna get there eventually. But we're coming back. Super Bowl is a good time to come back. So before we bring up the Super Bowl, which is going to be a good discussion, we got to talk about Kobe. Sammy, where were you when it happened, and how did you hear about it?
I was driving home, and a good friend of mine called me while he was doing the same and informed me of the news. And like pretty much everyone else, I'm sure, I was shocked. It was unbelievable. It was something unexpected, just something you're not ready to hear. You really, unfortunately, are able to grasp how important someone is when they're no longer available to you, and to see the world go through that in real time Just really shows you how special of a person he was, not only on and off the court. But yeah, in peace to one of the coats, and just make sure you get the people that roses while they're still alive to smell them, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the ultimate lesson when someone's taken from us too soon. It's like, tell your so and so you love them when they can. It's easy to say, it's ham handed, in my opinion. But with Kobe Bryant, it was shocking. It happened literally about 20, 30 minutes from where I live. And I distinctly remember that morning that it happened. I went to the gym, not to brag. I work out. I'm jacked. But but I remember I left my house that morning, and you couldn't see the sky. Like, it was foggy, dude. Like, super foggy. I was like, man, what a disgusting day today. And then I'm like I'm scootering to the gym, and I'm like, man, like, you can't see, like, the sun. You couldn't see the, I mean, you could see the sun, but it wasn't, it was just like a film. There was like a film in the sky. So then I heard about it, and I was like, oh my, I mean, everybody had the same reaction. It's like Kobe Bryant. It was like, no way. Like, how did this guy die in a plane crash? But add insult to injury, his daughter, other people, and, to me, it's, Kobe Bryant, yeah, it's really sad, but a 14-year-old girl, and another kid. Like, to me, that's the bigger story. Like, these kids, they only had 14 years. They only had a certain amount of time, and it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what Vanessa, his wife, like, how she goes about the rest of her life. And, like, Kobe, for you, was he a top 5 player?
Oh, definitely. I mean, more than top 5. You can make an argument that he's top 3. I mean, when you run down what's important to people, you got championships. He has one less than Michael Jordan, and nobody really goes into the Bill Russell discussion or the older players who really played before the 70s as far as counting rings. So really, like a modern era, he has 5 rings. There's only one person who has more as far as a significant stature in basketball. So you can make a strong argument for Kobe's place in the NBA and basketball, period. And yeah, it's just crazy. His celebrity obviously buries the lead of those kids, fortunately, that lost their lives. But hopefully this kind of just, again, shines a light on the cliches that we go through with people, because obviously we don't expect anyone to go, but it can just be something simple or routine of a 20-minute, plane ride instead of, hopping on the road because it takes longer, and you're no longer here. But as far as Kobe Bryant means to basketball, when anybody takes a round object and throws it into anything that resembles a basket, they're going to yell one word, one name. It's going to be Kobe. So that says everything you need to say about Kobe Bryant.
That's 1,000% true. I mean, you don't say MJ. You don't say LeBron. You say Kobe when you're shooting trash. Or, I mean, they had a trash bucket out at Staples Center or something like that, and everybody was like throwing paper in it, and all it said was, "You know what to do." And yeah, I mean, Kobe was a transformational player. I mean, he was world renowned. I never got to see him play. Did you ever see Kobe play?
No, I never saw him play live. No.
It's funny because when I lived in Orlando for Disney College program. There was people we lived with from Brazil, and they went to a Lakers game because they wanted to see Kobe. And I'd lived in Orlando for a while, and I was too lazy to go. And they're like, "I'm going." So I asked them about it. This guy named Bernardo. I was like, "So how was the game?" And he goes, "Man, Kobe is the man." That's all he said. Like, Kobe is the man. Like, he just dominated the game.
If you knew one thing, that's what you knew.
That's it. And you know what? Since we're at Sports Savage, we're going to bring this up because other people like to bring it up. And I'm not saying they're wrong, but I'm just saying it's a little ill-timed. Kobe Bryant had a checkered past. He wasn't, Tim Tebow. He wasn't some guy who was just, goody two-shoes. There was a rape case in Colorado. Everybody knows about it. But all of a sudden, people want to bring it up. All of a sudden, people are going to be like, "Oh, yeah, You know, why would you mourn a rapist? My question is, where were you before he died? Where was this sign before all of a sudden everybody wants to mourn this man? And yeah, you know what? You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. The pricks who tweet about it aren't perfect. That's not a time for this. You know, I'm all about free speech. I'm all about this or that and the other thing. But it's, you know, it's about decorum. Yes, he may have had a troubled past. Let the man die. Let the family bereave the way they're supposed to. Sammy, what do you think about people who just want to make it about that as opposed to everything else?
I mean, it's almost as bad as the people who want to make it about, you know, what Kobe meant to them more than the bigger picture or, you know, the tremendous loss that the world's facing. But, yeah, I mean, everyone has a checkered past. Don't pull the man's skeletons out at this particular moment as, I mean, yeah, you're going to treat someone in a shining light if they've ever done something for you or multiple people when they pass. There's no need to bring up any darkness, especially something as public as a situation. So, I mean, it's low-hanging fruit for people who want clickbait or people who want, you know, to be controversial just to be controversial. And, you know, that's just how we are sometimes.
But, you know, it was a holy shit moment. I mean, I don't know, maybe Sean Taylor, as far as like a preempt, like a death that came out of the blue for like a dominant, like, can you remember like before Kobe, like what would have maybe equaled it?
Yeah, I mean, in the sports community, you definitely have Sean Taylor. I know you probably heard this name out there on the West Coast, but Nipsey Hussle was something very similar as
Who?
far as kind of the hit
Who?
the
Say
sports
again.
community. Nipsey Hussle, the rapper from out that way who got shot.
I don't.
But
Who?
and that was last year.
I can't hear you. It's like muffled.
Nipsey Hussle. You hear me?
Nipsey Hustles.
Nipsey.
Nipsey.
Nipsey Hussle.
Now I don't know who that is. I'm white, dude. Am I supposed to know?
I mean, if you want to get out of the whole segregation part of your life, then yeah, it'd be nice to know black people. Well, yeah, Nipsey Hussle was a rapper. Was a rapper from LA who got slain, but was a gangster rapper, but nonetheless a gangster rapper who was presenting positivity and change his community and really just the black community and the hip hop community as a whole. And within also having that LA ties like Kobe, I know just in that central area, you know, the hard hit back to back because that happened to him last year when he was gunned down. So the thing is different as far as cause of death, but just two very impactful people for the urban community. I scratched that. I hate the word urban. For the black community as well as the hip hop community, but someone also from LA to lose someone that impactful, I know has to be crazy. But yeah, as far as sports wise, yeah, Sean Taylor is the only one that comes to mind when you, like you said, a holy shit moment.
I'm a Mac Miller guy. Wink. Nah, I'm just kidding. Now we're gonna talk about this. Why do you hate the word urban, Sammy?
Urban is a code for black. I don't like codes for black because black people don't need codes, and we don't need to be referred to anything other than what and who we are, and that's black African American people, African American, Afro American, whatever you want to call it. But I don't like terms that exist for such a reason. And plus, all races live in the urban parts. It's just like poor, so it kind of also like references black people to poor. When you reference urban as black because everybody lives everywhere.
No, it is kind of drawing
Except
a
for the
line.
really
It
wealthy
is.
part.
Yeah, it is kind of.
White people.
It is kind of drawing a line in the sand because when I say an urban community, I don't think of like Jewish people. You know, like I don't think of like anybody like that. But it's a good point. I'm not gonna use that. I'm not gonna use the U word anymore. Sammy.
Yeah, fuck the U word, bro.
All right. Hashtag. All right. If you listen to this podcast, hashtag fuck the U word. We're making it big. We're gonna make T-shirts.
You know what I'm saying? Retweet all of that.
If you want to buy them, holla. Because I don't know, we're not gonna sell any T-shirts. Let's be honest.
Hey, never say never.
Well, you just said it twice. So anyway, we're gonna move on. I gotta be honest with you. That is one I have in my back pocket. Whenever anybody says it, I got that in my back pocket. So y'all can take that too when you listen to the show. And someone says never say never, say you just said it twice. And you deal them that hand, and they can't even play it. Before we get into the Super Bowl, I gotta bring one thing up, Sammy, and I think you know what I'm gonna bring up. Take a guess.
Oh, jeez. I hope it's not Baltimore related.
Hope it's not what?
Baltimore related.
Oh, baby! You should play the lottery, Sammy. You should play the lottery right now. You are that hot right now. Sammy, I'm going to give you my take, and then I want to hear yours. So, I watched the game. Seems like Baltimore panicked. Seems like the running game wasn't going the way they wanted it to in the very beginning. So they're like, well, maybe we should throw it a lot more. Even though that hasn't been our game plan all season, let's try to do it now. And we're not going to discourage, Lamar Jackson because he's an incredible talent. And yes, he can throw the ball. But let's be honest, that read option destroys people, and they abandoned it. Defense is used to just chilling on the sidelines because Baltimore offense eats up the clock. They just eat it up, score. Defense has to play, few downs. That's it. Offense, eat it up. Boom. They abandoned their game plan. They got embarrassed. I felt bad for you, Sammy. As the resident Baltimore Ravens fan, how did you feel watching that game, and what was your thought process from the beginning to the end?
So in the beginning, I feel funny because the same person who says they feel bad for me also fucking jinxed us. But I mean, that's a whole other story.
Well, how?
From the first snap.
How did I jinx you? How? Tell me how.
So I received a text message early first quarter.
Oh no.
From a certain savage that was pretty much talking shit. I can't remember it verbatim.
Hold on,
but it's something along the lines of.
I'm gonna look it up. I don't even know when I texted you.
Looks like here on the 11th. No, that's like here. That was the 10th. Here.
No, that was after the game, dude.
You didn't text me.
I texted you after.
Oh yeah.
No, I did.
That was not before the game.
I did. I said
quarter.
Always next year, go Titans with a wink face, and then I texted at 7:26. I feel bad now.
Yeah, so that game probably started, I believe, 7. So 20 minutes in, I got the omen that some crazy shit was going to happen from our host.
I blew it, Sammy.
Savage.
I'm sorry, I blew it.
So at that moment, I was watching what looked like a defense that definitely took itself a little too seriously. Was reading those press clippings. They were probably top 5 at that moment, and they really believed that they were the number 1 defense. I saw here our Pro Bowler, strong safety, and free safety, and Earl Thomas talk all that shit before the game during the week about people not wanting to tackle Derrick Henry, and then him becoming a little child when it was his job one-on-one to tackle Derrick Henry. So wasn't embarrassing quite much so, only because of the end of the year run that we went on. But I mean, you can look at the tape. I was screaming a year ahead of schedule, but I also blind, and I don't think that we missed the opportunity to the Super Bowl run with a quarterback in his first year starting. So I definitely, and it wasn't until the third quarter, I believe, after the fourth down try that we were known for this year, got stuffed by that Titans defense without, oh shit, this is probably not going to bode well for us. But yeah, it's still, I mean, a year ahead of schedule. We get Lamar back for us to get starting. Hopefully we get a healthy Hollywood Brown, which, is an understatement for us. As far as our receiving core, he was hurt the whole year. Mark Ingram, we found out we got a lead back in him. So watching that game, I definitely thought Tennessee maybe had something that could get them through the Super Bowl, because that was Derrick Henry's second game with over 150 rushing yards. But I think it really more so exposed that we were a little high on ourselves and probably a little ahead schedule, more so than such a Ryan Tannehill is actually a good quarterback.
Derrick Henry's such a badass dude. He runs like Frankenstein. He's just straight up, just runs straight. Just it's so awkward watching Derrick Henry run. He just runs straight up. He doesn't duck down for anybody. He's just just this like almost this robot running. Sammy, this is what I'm thinking is going to happen in the AFC, right? So Brady's in flux. He's probably going to go back to the Pats. Why would he leave? You're going to go to the Chargers? You're going to go to the Chargers? No, you're not. You're not going to the Chargers. You're staying at home. I think you remember AFC showdowns with Peyton Manning on the Colts and Tom Brady in New England. You remember those showdowns? Like that was like a real thing for like, I don't know, 3 to 6 years. Like it was like those guys always in the AFC.
Oh yeah, prime time.
So I'm thinking we're gonna see a new rivalry: Mahomes, Jackson. Those guys are the most exciting quarterbacks. They're the best quarterbacks. And that's what an amazing AFC Championship game that would be. Baltimore, because you are a lucky man. You know Baltimore is going to the playoffs at least 5 out of the next 3 years, if not more. I, as a Vikings fan, I have to clench my asshole every game when I watch Kirk Cousins play, even though he won that game in New Orleans. Which I didn't, but you know what? As soon as we won that game, I was like, here we go, another emotional win. We're going to lose the next week. Guess what? That's what the Vikings do, okay? They bring you up to tear you down. Anyway, Mahomes, Baltimore. We're going to go into Super Bowl talk now since we're already talking about Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to ask you straight up, Sammy, who you got? Super Bowl.
I feel like you're an idiot if you bet against Patrick Mahomes. So that kind of lets you know who I'm picking in the Super Bowl. But there's a case to be made for San Francisco. And if you've watched football this season, or even if you just turn San Francisco on and you watch for the past month or so, you see a dominant football team. You see a dominant defensive line. You see a dominant running game. And when they let Jimmy throw the ball and he's able to throw it to his receivers, they're able to make plays after they catch it. So it should be a great game. It should be a very entertaining game. I'd be very surprised if it was low scoring, even with San Francisco's defense. But I say all that to say, you're an idiot if you bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Why are you an idiot if you bet against Patrick Mahomes?
I feel like Patrick Mahomes is what we thought Aaron Rodgers was because he's half black. And I said that correctly, so there's no reason to rewind it. That's what I mean. He's arguably probably the greatest thrower of the football we've seen to this day. And I completely understand that we throw the ball more than we've ever thrown it in the NFL, but he still does it to an amazing degree. There was a stat that one of my guys looked up, and by my guys I mean people that I saw on television, and it was he's yet in his NFL career to have a bad statistical game. So when his teams have lost, that kind of makes the argument that it's never been his fault. He has literally put his team in positions to win every time he started as a quarterback.
I think I heard a stat where every loss that Patrick Mahomes played in was within 7 points. So that means he's going to keep you in the game. He is going to be the guy who's going to be like, I'm going to hold the torch up as high as I can, and we're just going to go from there. That's ridiculous. I mean, all right, let me ask you this, Sammy. This is on the hot seat. Who would you rather have, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, the next 4 years?
So you got to remember who you're talking to. I'm one of the more loyal people on this planet. So the answer is Lamar Jackson because that's what my team has.
Really?
And he's a fool. I have too many times. I feel like Lamar Jackson in the perfect world could throw the ball something like Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes will never be the athlete that Lamar Jackson is. So if I wasn't a Ravens fan, the obvious answer is Patrick Mahomes. There's a great chance that he's going to finish his career better than Lamar Jackson. But with that being said, what I'm seeing from this guy Lamar, who's still growing as a passer, is amazing. While the only argument you could maybe make against Patrick Mahomes is that he's pretty close to the finished product. I don't know how much better he can get at throwing the ball. It's going to be more so on his intellect to read defenses. And once he gets to that Manning, Brady, veteran type level, he definitely may be the greatest of all time. So there's an argument that can be made for both of them. I'm a Raven. I'm a Lamar Jackson down because we were starting up to draft him. But Patrick Mahomes is the baby goat.
Let me slide this comparison your way. I think Mahomes is like our generation's Dan Marino.
Oh, that's not a good thing to say before this big game.
But I'm just saying, like as far like I don't know that much tape on Dan Marino, but he dominated the air. Patrick Mahomes dominates. He dominates the air. Like there's nobody that throws the ball like him. There's nobody that can make the plays like he can. Patrick Mahomes, I mean, you could argue is the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now. Maybe Drew Brees, number 2. I don't know who else I would go number 3. I mean,
yeah, Russell Wilson.
Oh, Russell Wilson. I mean, I don't know if I think I love Russell Wilson though, so it's hard for me to take Drew Brees over him. I would take Lamar Jackson, and I would take Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. It's a good discussion. Russell Wilson is probably the most underrated player in the NFL.
Yes, you could definitely make an argument. Probably also he'd be pretty high on the list for Titans too.
You know, I love his hair now. He's got like long hair. His wife's, you know, he is legitimately like not the anti Tom Brady, but I would say like the black Tom Brady. Like he's got a great life. He's always going to, you know, hospitals and stuff like that. He's got a huge famous wife. What do you think about that? Is that a decent comparison, Sammy?
Oh yeah, no, I totally get it. I just love the way that Russell Wilson altered his life based off of the race of his wife. So he was definitely married to a white woman before he was married to Garrett. And just the way he dressed, the way he moved, his demeanor was just completely different. And I forgot that there's different people on social media who've noticed that and kind of made fun of me with the differences. But I mean, shout out to them for the upgrade. You know, I mean, that's what I can really appreciate most about Russell. But no matter what, even with the change of his ideas and the way he looks and he dresses, still solid quarterback play.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, how can you fucking hate on Russell Wilson?
You can't, dude. Man, that was a great breakdown. I never even thought of that. His white hoe cheated on him. I don't know with who. No,
right.
I know it was with one of the wide receivers on Seattle at the time. I forget who it was. Hold on, I gotta look this up.
Yeah, it's through an ugly fucking divorce. I think he's probably paying alimony for that.
Oh man, who did? Who? All right, Russell Wilson. Wife cheater. I like Google because you can speak like a caveman and it figures out what you want.
It's figure out there.
You don't need punctuation. You don't need anything. You can just say whatever you want on Google. And that's how you know how bad of a speller you are. Like for me, especially.
For the world, that's why they have the teacher.
Golden Tate, that's what it was. Golden Tate was the cheater in Seattle. But
he got traded out of there.
So I'm going to give you my take on the Super Bowl. I think the Niners are going to win, and I know you said you got to be crazy to bet against Kansas City, but I'm totally going to hedge my bets. I'm totally going to ride the fence. I'm totally going to be that prick. I would love to see Kansas City win just because Andy Reid, man. I want Andy Reid to win. Andy Reid has been the most consistent coach. He wears the shorts. He looks like a walrus. You know, he's the everyman. You know, and he's his offensive genius. Like, give it to Andy Reid. Because I think the 49ers are, like, set up for a while. Like, they're probably going to be contending for the next 4 years, if not more. depending on who they have to pay, when they have to pay him. But they got Bosa on the cheap. They got Kittle on the cheap. And, they interchangeable running backs, honestly. You can, insert whoever here, and they'll probably rush for 1,000 yards. It's just that scheme. I still would love to see Kansas City win. I would love to see Patrick Mahomes be a Super Bowl champ. Love to see, Travis Kelce, this big-time showboat guy. Have you seen Travis Kelce's fiance, girlfriend?
Yeah, I did.
What do you think?
What, Travis Kelce's new girlfriend looks like Beyonce?
No, man. Have you seen Travis Kelce's girlfriend?
Oh, no. I haven't.
Oh, she is not light-skinned. She is from your neck of the woods, and, there's so much shit about it, but, man, she's smoking, though. Travis Kelce's cool. I like Greg Kittle more. Greg Kittle to me, dude is the
George Kittle.
Oh, I got it. Barstool's doing this thing where they call him Greg Kittle just to see who does it, and I did, and I got, dude. People on ESPN have said Greg Kittle too, so it's just it's too easy. But no, George Kittle to me he's probably my favorite. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL because he's just wild. He's like Gronk. He plays, almost like a more aggressive Gronk, man. This dude's just, he's just a wild animal.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get a better tight end matchup, let alone offensive matchup, period. All I can say is I can see the Kansas City defense, if I'm going to play devil's advocate for the Chiefs, I can see the Kansas City defense allowing 40 points for that San Francisco offense as they get rolling. The only thing is I can see Patrick Mahomes putting up 50 to win. It would just really take a dominant performance by the San Francisco defensive line for them to win the Super Bowl. That's the only San Francisco argument I can make, because no matter how many points the 49ers are able to pull up, I'm just that confident in Mahomes and that Chiefs offense to be able to counteract that.
49ers defense, though, that they faced a buzzsaw like that, they get pressure. Richard Sherman can shut down half the field, even though he's, according to Darrelle Revis, not one of the best quarterbacks in the, whatever. But what do you think?
Let's just say Richard Sherman used to be able to shut down a whole half of the field. I'm not saying that I think with what Darrelle Revis had to say, because I don't like when players who don't play anymore talk about active players. But yeah, I mean, Richard Sherman isn't the man that he once was because he had a couple of major injuries.
It's true, but he's had a good year, and I wanted to.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I wanted to throw in the towel on Richard Sherman after he tore or whatever it was, and I was like, nah, he ain't coming back. He's had a good year. He's a decent quarterback. He's in the Super Bowl, but it's all about Bosa. Nick Bosa. Who would have? Joey Bosa is pretty good. Nick Bosa is on a different level. He loves Trump. Would that want to make you root for him any more, any less? You don't care.
I'm not going to say that I don't care, because if you do support Donald Trump, you're a little weird to me, and that's my political way of saying that you're fucking nuts. But with that being said, I had no idea that he was going to be better than his brother, and shout out to him for being a good football player.
You could actually use the Nick Bosa model in the future, because he only played, I don't know, it was a few games that season, and then he just trained. NCAA has a big problem. They want their players to play for 3 years. Trevor Lawrence, I'm sure, doesn't want to play for a third year. He's already balled out. He's already done this. XFL might wave a fat stack in front of him, say, hey, play for us for 1 year, then you can go to the NFL. NCAA has got to do something about this, Sammy. They're going to lose players because money talks, bullshit walks. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but I am saying NCAA has got to do something about these players because they're going to want that cash.
Rightfully so. I don't think the NCAA has anything they can do other than providing compensation for their labor. So it'll be interesting to see how they counterbalance what has become of the new landscape.
Let me ask you this: Trevor
Well,
Lawrence.
college sports, but
Let me
they
ask.
have to do something.
Let me ask you this: if let's say XFL offers Trevor Lawrence a $15 million 1-year deal, would he take that, or would he do his senior season in Clemson?
I mean, if I'm able to take out a healthcare insurance policy, I can understand why I don't take the money, and I already have a national championship. But other than public backlash and probably the NCAA trying to throw a little salt on you, I don't see why you wouldn't that to play such a dangerous game, expected to do it for free. And I've already climbed the mountain peak. There's nothing more that I can do at the collegiate level other than win a Heisman. And a Heisman really means a lot less once I've already had a national championship, and I'm probably going to be the number one pick in the draft.
So you wouldn't think he would take that deal and then go to the draft the next year? $15 million for 1 year?
I think he'd be
let's keep this in mind. XFL is like right after. Well, he wouldn't do it now. Well, he would have to do it now, because then that way he could wait the whole college football season, train, whatever. I don't know. I just think that's what the XFL is going to have to do if it wants to survive. You're going to need to pluck some of these college all-stars. You're going to have to pay the big money. This is what you're going to have to do. You're going to say, you can come to the XFL right out of high school. You can do it. Oh, you want to go to this college? No. We're going to take any high school graduate in the XFL. We want to see those 5-star recruits on the actual football field. Yeah, they could go to Clemson, they could go to Ohio State, sit out a year, blah, blah, blah. Or you can make $8 million and start in the XFL. Sammy, am I crazy or am I onto something?
I mean, you're definitely onto something. I don't know how the insurance policies will work on kids coming straight out of high school to play football. But if you have the talent, it's very un-American to say that you can't earn your maximum income. So, I mean, you're definitely onto something. And if you're the XFL, you have to do something amazing to stand out. So signing kids out of high school or allowing kids the option, whether you're doing 3 years in college, is definitely something different that may allow you to stick around.
Let me ask you this. How many yards would Adrian Peterson would have got when he was 18 in the XFL? At least 1,000?
At least 1,000. He probably would have went for 1,500 because, again, the one thing with the XFL is the same thing that the G League suffers from, the same thing that the minor league suffers from. You don't have the best product. So you're either going to have to build some type of camaraderie between your patrons and your teams, something genuine, or you're just going to have to be able to find talent that doesn't make it to the NFL or hasn't made it to the NFL yet to stick around. Those are your only two options.
Are you going to watch the XFL?
I'm going to try to watch the XFL. I would have appreciated if they would have brought the fucking Orlando Rage back. Because, again, as you all know, I'm everything Orlando. But once I found out that they didn't bring the Rage back and they brought a fucking Tampa Bay team, it kind of suits my nerves or grinding my gears. But with that being said, I enjoy football, so I want to give it a chance. But then also, Vince McMahon sucks. So now that you ask me that side, I'm kind of torn.
You know, it's interesting with the XFL. They are changing the point after. They can go for it now. They can go for it on the 2, they can go for it for 3 points, all depending on what yard line they're on, which adds more little spot. I mean, you could get, a 9-point play on 1 touchdown. I mean, that's pretty interesting. They're keeping it quick. They're keeping it fast. They're keeping it loose. I'm going to watch the XFL. I do wish Orlando had a team because Orlando actually has a very passionate sports fan base. If you've never been there, Sammy, I'm sure you could attest.
Yes, sir. Go Magic. Go Lions.
But, the overtime is going to be kind of like college. I mean, I'm going to watch. I mean, I watched the AF. I watched the AAF because they had stars. They had Richardson. Man, what a fall from grace Trent Richardson had. Superstar at Alabama, has a 1,000-yard rookie season, and then just shits the bed.
Yeah, how do you go from the ACC to the? I mean, how do you go from the SEC to the AF?
And you know what? He only averaged like 3 yards a carry. Like he was just a bowling ball. Like people just roll him down. All right, we're getting off topic here. So Super Bowl, I think the 49ers are going to win. I would love to see, and I know this sounds shitty. It sounds, what a loser. But I would love to see Kansas City win. Like, so for me, like, I can't lose when I'm at Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, it's going to be very entertaining. I'm calling it the Joe Montana Bowl. He's going to be the happiest person to watch the game since he can't lose because he played for the Chiefs and he played for the 49ers. But other than that, I don't feel like anyone as a football fan is going to lose because there's no way this can't be an entertaining game because you do have two high-powered offenses and one defense that should be pretty stout, and the Kansas City defense that's really underrated as far as this into the season. So I can see maybe even a Hunt that can make plays to become a MVP of the Super Bowl. That's how important he's been to that defense lately. But football fans win in general because it's going to be an entertaining matchup.
Sammy, we have overlooked one very important thing, and this is how we will end the show today. Demi Lovato singing the national anthem. J-Lo, Shakira, halftime show. Demi, J-Lo, Shakira, pick one and why.
Shakira.
Whoa! Okay.
Wait. My options were J-Lo and Shakira, right? Because your response was like, I didn't hear the question.
Demi, J-Lo, Shakira. I mean, there's no wrong answer.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, no. Demi doesn't count because she's kind of in that weird, like, I was on Disney, so she kind of almost looks like a little girl to me kind of category. But, yeah, no. J-Lo's been a little overrated for the past couple of years now, even though she doesn't really age. Like, her body's still a bit for her age. It's more so on the face you kind of look and be like, okay, you're not that young. But Shakira, first of all, her hips don't lie. It's a reason why that shit was a hit. It's because it's true. And she's timeless.
I'm picking Demi. Sorry, bro.
Foreign.
Sorry, bro. Demi.
No, but she's like kind of like on that Ariana Grande level, like.
No, Ariana Grande does look like a child. And I don't understand people who like really think Ariana Grande is hot. Yeah, she's pretty, but she looks like a little kid. Am I wrong, Sammy? Though, like, am I wrong?
No, that's how I feel about a lot of Disney artists, though. I mean, no, you're not wrong at all.
I don't know, it's just creepy. Demi's hot. I like Demi. Shakira's hot. J-Lo's hot. Are you kidding me? J-Lo's the third choice. The second. I mean, come on. Ben Affleck probably had her best years.
So, okay, first of all, Puff Daddy had her best years.
Oh, right, I don't know. She may have learned stuff from him, and then it went into Ben.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And then she tried to get it all right for the white man. You're right, bro. I give you that. Ben was a superstar at that point. Yeah, you're right. Ben Affleck was the best J-Lo.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Who's your celebrity crush right now? If you were to pick one person. Actually, give me like a 2 or 3, because I have 1 or 2 at least for you.
Celebrity crush.
You want me to go first? Man. I'll go first if you want me to.
Yeah, you go first.
All right, so number 1's Nicole Scherzinger from Pussycat Dolls. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Something, I don't know what it is. Sammy. It's just home. You know, in second.
And I know what it is. She's hot.
Secondly, you might even try to bullshit me on this one, but you probably won't. Joy Taylor.
Not Joy Taylor. Dude, I completely agree with you. Before she got married, I think she got married.
No,
she's definitely engaged.
She's single. She broke up with her.
Broke up with him?
Oh, she's single, bro.
Oh man. Oh, okay, well then maybe she's going through something now that she's single again. So I think she's about to get married to that.
No, man. She's off the market. And I follow her on. The only reason I know is I follow her on the gram. She deleted all the pictures of Earl. That was the guy's name.
Ooh.
This is so gossipy right now. But anyway,
She's
yeah.
done with Earl.
But she's done, and now she's just flaunting her stuff. My favorite show is The Herd, just because it starts at a reasonable time on the West Coast for me, and I like Colin, and I like Joy, and Joy brings it. She brings the heat.
Oh yeah, no, her podcast with I think it's I'm not gonna do that in the Superbowl club, but she has a nice podcast too that she does on her own. I haven't been able to catch it.
Oh, it's called Maybe I'm Crazy.
No. Yeah. I like the breakdown of her podcast as well.
Now we're a pro.
No shit for Joy.
We're a pro Joy Taylor podcast. If she wants to come on, she's more than welcome. I'm sure she's listening right now, and she's like, "Yeah, you know what? Maybe I will go on Sports Savage."
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And her invitation is open and will stay open to the end of time because that's just how special she is to it.
All right, we're getting off the rails. Sammy, things to look out for in the Super Bowl.
If Patrick Mahomes has less than 4 touchdowns, they may lose the game, and I would be extremely surprised.
And what? What was the last part?
If Patrick, I would be going to lose the game, and I would be extremely surprised.
I mean, I don't know. My key to the game, I think, is just going to be time of possession. Because it seems like San Francisco can just, hold on to the ball a little longer than Kansas City. Because Kansas City has those, those firecracker plays. It's a lot of yards a lot of the time. So I'm going to be interested to watch. I don't really care who wins. It doesn't really matter to me. But it'll be an interesting game. And Sammy, is there anything you want to say to the fans, to the people, now that we're back? Anything you've been holding in?
Yeah, thank you guys for being patient. Stay tuned. We're making big moves. 2020 is obviously the year for everyone because we're all fly, but especially for us. And we appreciate the patience and keep up with the real ones as always.
And Sammy, we started with 0 subscriptions. We have 18.
And that's 18 more than 0.
At least 18 people were
we're going to have 1 million
in
no time.
I mean, that's not a bad progression if you're going to ask me. It's from nothing to that. Anyway.
And that's with the break picking. So if we go full speed ahead.
No, people are going to be on the edge of their seats. They only want to pay for the edge. People are going to be like, I just can't wait to see what's going to happen. Sammy, you still have no social media, correct?
Absolutely.
Sammy is off the grid. If you want to holla at me, at Garrett W. Savage, Instagram, Twitter. Show me some love. Show me what you got. You can email the show. There still has not been one email to the show. Sammy, how easy is it to email somebody?
It's too fucking easy. What are people doing? Let's go.
You can have a question. You can be like, yo, what is... You can ask anything you want. It could be sports related. It doesn't even have to be sports related. Whatever you want. Just email thesportssavageshow@gmail.com. All right, Sammy, it's good to be back. I don't know when our next show is going to be. Y'all hang tight. We're going to do it. We're going to do Sammy. Anything you want to say to the crowd?
Yeah, man, just tell you what, you want to figure that shit out. I'm not a cook. We out. Till next time.
Peace out.
Peace.